youths who are energetic enough. So for us as government, when I mean government, I'm talking about the various state governments, Nddc, and other partners to come together to see how we can create the future for the Niger Delta. And the future is agriculture. Agriculture is not only limited to land, agriculture also goes into the blue economy, because we have not even tapped into how to take advantage of the blue economy in the Niger Delta. How many fishing trawlers do we have as people from the Niger Delta? You go to our deep waters, you find out that most of the fishing trawlers are owned by foreigners. And they don't sell whatever they get to us, they export them. But we can only regulate them if we're in competition with them. These are the issues we must look at. How do we take advantage of our blue economy? Which state has comparative advantage when it comes to the blue economy? Which state has comparative advantage when it comes to land? How can we integrate our efforts to see how we can build food security in the Niger Delta and provide job opportunities for our younger ones? We believe agriculture is the future. The land is owned by us. The water is owned by us. We don't need to import them. We don't need to buy them. We only need to enrich the soil. Today, as a people, we find out that most of our staples are no more growing again in our region. We also have to look at that. How do we bring back these staples? Because the Lord that kept us here deliberately kept those staples with us, because that is where we get our healings from. Foods that are grown in your environment, they are the food that heal you. But when you import them, they are alien to your DNA. Let us grow back those staples that have disappeared. We realize that after the 2012 flood that actually ravaged the Niger Delta, most of our staples stopped growing. For example, cocoyam, which was one of our major staples, especially for those of us from Bayelsa, cocoyam doesn't grow anymore in our land, on our land. You find out that before we were very, very rich in the areas of oil and gas. We are also blessed with our land, with the sea. The Lord has given us the blue economy to tap into, vast land for us to take advantage of and take possession, take preeminence, and to ensure that we guarantee food security for ourselves and the future generation. Let us see how we can reduce the traffic of food that is coming from up north. Some of these we can also produce them here. Today, science has made everything very, very possible. That some staples that probably do not grow here, science has made it possible that you can also grow them here, if you can treat the land. So let us go mechanical. Let us explore our land. Let us enter into this discussion with an open mind of thinking that the impossibility is possible. Let us not limit our minds to the fact that we are where we are. Let us not be contented with what we have. Let us know that we can actually make this region the hub of agriculture in Nigeria. And that can only be possible if we agree in this room and pursue it vigorously as states and Nddc and other partners that are going to partner with us. I believe these are very, very possible. It is only your mind that can limit you. But if your mind is open, the impossibility can be possible. Because there is nothing to consume and enough to export. Today we have a situation in this region where some persons are now investing in cassava for either ethanol or cassava industrial starch. And you find out that if we don't create a balance, because of their vigorous investment, their plants need to be fed with so much tons of cassava, it is also making garri more expensive. That is to tell you that we have a challenge. We cannot only produce cassava starch for export without also producing enough garri for the people at home to eat. That is to say, we need to work harder. We need to double our effort to grow more in our region. And this can only be done through government intervention. This cannot be done through the subsistence farming of our farmers. The government must take charge. The government must take the front role. And that is what this administration of Renewed Hope stands for. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria cannot think for us. He has already put together the agenda and the framework. It is left for us to take advantage of it. And I believe if we're able to come up with a proper framework for agriculture that will guarantee food security in this country, I know the federal government is also going to support the various states. Because already the federal government is supporting states. Today, this is the only president that has shown compassion for the effective running of states, because he's someone who believes in true federalism, where the center should be weak, but let the subnationals be stronger. That is why today the states are well and better funded. If I could remember, during the commissioning of our state office in Warri, the Delta state governor, if I could, said no state government should complain that they don't have money, that the president has given them enough money. I thought we should all put hands together for our president. So these are the fundings that we should also look at how to invest in agriculture, because agriculture is the future. Science will tell you that with time we might not have crude oil. As much as I don't want to believe that, but that is science. But we have also seen in our lifetime that some oil wells are already going dry, while we are also discovering new ones. That is to say, there is possibility that you might wake up one morning, oil is no more there. So when the oil is no more there, what do you deal with? Because today your pride is oil and gas. Take advantage of what you have to protect your future, to preserve your future. The future is in our hands. Let us those of us seated here, coming up with a proper framework, be the ones that will take the credit that whatever that has to do with the future of the Niger Delta in the area of food security was actually designed by us. We are here to make history. Let us make history together. I know for your governors to have delegated you to come, they are also committed to ensuring that we make history together. For us in Nddc, we are very, very committed to ensuring that we make history together, because we are trying to tap into the agenda of the renewed hope of ensuring that there is food security in Nigeria. If the North is working to ensuring that there is food security, let us ensure that we also have food security in the South. When there is plenty in the North and there is plenty in the South, then the country will have enough to export. And that is the only way we can crash the price of the dollar. Because only a mono economy, oil and gas, is not strong enough to to bring down the price of dollar. You need to have multiple streams of income as a country. And in agriculture, there are so many chains that is unlimited. The world needs what we have. The world needs our agricultural resource. Let us take advantage of it. In the Niger Delta, we are very, very rich in ogbono production. Ogbono is also needed in the western part of the world for medicine. But for us, we only just have them for soup. Why don't we grow plantations? This is what we as government should create that direction, so that we can have a lot of cash crop to export. We have the African Development Bank to partner with as a people, and other international partners, donor agencies that are willing to support. Let us take advantage of it. So on this note, I want to say thank you to all of you, and I wish us a fruitful deliberation and discussion that will take us to the level of the agricultural summit, which all of us will agree on when and where that summit is going to take place in this region. Then we can invite personalities from different parts of the country, maybe the Minister of Agri, donor agencies, and also different people who will want to go and come and see what we are presenting to them. That is when we are going to showcase the Niger Delta to the world, that this is what we have been able to put together collectively to show the people of the Niger Delta. For us in Nddc finally, we are also in discussion and partnership with Origin Group to build food hub across the Niger Delta. The Origin Group have tried it in Lagos and it is working. So we are also trying to tap into that. We are going into that with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, who will partner with the Origin Group, but we are also going to support them, so that we have food hub in the Niger Delta. This will be able to trigger the production of food in Niger Delta, so that rather than we having various bush markets in different places, we can have some food hub in the Niger Delta where they will have good preservation system. Not the one that people take food to the bush market and maybe some of the foods are some of them go bad and maybe they throw them away. So we are trying to take advantage and partner with the best to secure food production in the Niger Delta. Thank you very much.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive, Chief of Nddc, Chief Samuel Obuku, other directors of Nddc here present, fellow commissioners, PAMSEX directors, and other critical stakeholders. Permit me to either stand or lean or sit on the already well-established protocols. Let me begin by thanking the organizers of this event for the attention to detail, particularly in the area of hospitality. I bring you greetings from my governor, His Excellency Dr. Alex Chioma Oti, OFR. Of a truth, nobody prepared us for a presentation, and I didn't come with any. However, listening to the MD who stood here for almost an hour, never looked at anything, never looked at any prepared speech, I'm inspired. So I was able to put something down as he was talking. Let me just, first of all, let me give you a little bit of background of Abia State. I think they deserve another round of applause for that wonderful speech. My state, Abia State, of course, as you know, is one of the states in the Niger Delta and the Southeast region. We have a population of about 4.8 million, occupying a land size of approximately 6,320 square kilometers. That's about 632 hectares of land, out of which 74% is arable land. Our climate can support all manner of crops and livestock and fisheries development. The population of Abia State that are engaged in agriculture is about 70%. About 80% of that are smallholder farmers, farming less than 2 hectares each. Despite that, 70% or even more of what we eat in Abia State, just like many other states in Niger Delta, are imported. It means we are relying on other states to feed us in most food items, especially yam, those things that we can actually grow. So the other issue I need to bring up here is that the population, 55 average age of those who are into agriculture is about 55 years. And as you know, life expectancy in Nigeria is less than 54 years. It means that many people who are farming are ghosts. So what does it tell us? It means that our job is clearly cut out for us. So our major focus in Abia State would be to, first of all, have a credible and reliable database of who are the people farming, where are they farming, what kind of crops are they farming, how come the productivity is still low. So we're able to develop a digital agri-dynamic database in Abia State, which can tell us, give us this information real time. So what that does is that interventions from the center, from the state or from the federal, we can plan it with reasonable accuracy. It also means if I deploy any of these inputs, I can follow them to the farm and into the soil to make sure that these items and all these support programs will deliver on the promises and the expectations. We are building capacity across mainly for our youths, and by this I mean training and empowering the youths to come into agriculture, instead of going into other areas that are mostly destructive and are not adding value to the society. We want to support year-round farming through irrigation, being bounded by many rivers and water bodies. We want to get into livestock production. We are signing agreements with some modern ranching organizations and dairy farmers. And of course, we are leveraging technology to deploy improved inputs to boost production. We are going into agro-processing. We're establishing markets, both local. Competitive, resilient agriculture sector that will boost food production, create job opportunities, contribute to Abia's economic growth, and ensure food nutrition and sovereignty. I thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Cliff Abaeze, Honorable Commissioner, Abia State Ministry of Agriculture. May I now invite for his presentation, Dr. Ofiong Ofo, Honorable Commissioner, Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Agriculture. I'd like to respectfully ask that we please manage the little time that we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The MD of Nddc here present, all other dignitaries, my colleagues from other states, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here this afternoon. Like my colleague from Abia State who just left, we were not quite prepared for this, but we're going to say what we're doing in our respective states, and Akwa Ibom cannot be left out. Thank you for the privilege of being here. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom, Pastor Omo Obasieno, in his economic blueprint, you can see me wearing a badge here written Arise. The first alphabet there, A, represents agricultural revolution. This shows the direction his administration is focused on, because we know that food is the most basic need of man. What is he doing to see that there is agricultural revolution in Akwa Ibom State? He's recently put out a tree crop development initiative where we intend on taking advantage of planting oil palm seedlings, to start with 1 million seedlings, because we have comparative advantage in oil palm, we have in rice, we have the longest shoreline in the Niger Delta, and we'll also take advantage of that by developing the fisheries sector. So he's lined up a number of things to do to see that agriculture is revolutionized in Akwa Ibom State. So we've commenced that with the tree crop development initiative, also using extension services to support that. He's also setting up an agricultural equipment leasing yard where agricultural machines will be leased to farmers to increase the production of food and the land for crop development. He's also revamped extension services, and he's doing a number of things in the fisheries subsector, by setting up a Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways to try to curb the incidences of piracy in our waterways, to make our waterways secure, such that our fisher folk, that's the fishermen and women, will be able to do business in our waterways safely. So he's looked at these different areas of intervention to see that we push agriculture. Thank you very much. I think I can hear myself now. To see that we make agriculture the focus of the Arise agenda. Akwa Ibom State has a population of 7.9 million people and is largely agrarian. Most of these people do farming in the rural areas. And there are several ways he has also tried to encourage farmers to see and young people to engage in agricultural production. He recently brought up what we call an Arise home farm or home garden competition, where he made us go around to see those who have home gardens and assess them, giving rewards to people who had very good home gardens. And that has paid off. We've seen so many more Akwa Ibomites engaging in home farm garden production. What more has he done? He has set aside a particular day of the month, encouraging civil servants and everybody to go back to the farm, and it's called the Farm Day. So every first Friday of the month, which is a farm day, it's a work-free day, everybody goes back to the farm. And we are currently working on evaluating the impact of that intervention. So like the MD has said, we are not just an oil-rich area. Agriculture is what, if we hear our parents, remember the stories our parents used to tell us of how they were sent to school from proceeds that were gotten from the farm. So we need to go back to the farm and encourage our young people as well to see that agriculture is not something for our aged parents in the village or for rural area, rural dwellers alone, that everybody has to be involved, everybody has to come on the front row. And how are we encouraging the young people? You know, they like the ICT savvy, they like high-tech things, so we're trying to encourage them in training in vertical farming, hydroponics, things that interest them, so that they can see that agriculture is not just what we do with whole. Initiative in different value chains, and I think that's the message of the MD of Nddc. Let's go back to the farm. Let's not just depend on oil alone. And we're looking forward to the outcome of this meeting, that it will strengthen us, all the 9 Niger Delta states. That he has said that technology has made it easier for us to do things that we used to get from other places. Now we can use greenhouses to grow vegetables, and those are things that we are doing in our different states. Akwa Ibom, for example. We can also, there's a technology we are working with IIT on, the SAH technology, to multiply cassava. The opportunity to be here. Let's
go out to the farm to strengthen agriculture. The Secretary to the gave a little presentation. I'd like to express the Honorable Commissioner, my also state Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, for making this meeting successful.
The Managing Director, Nddc, and your team of directors, my fellow commissioners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by commending your visionary leadership in bringing us together for these events and putting agriculture as one of your major programs now in Nddc. And your presentation too for this is absolutely commendable. I want to thank you very much for the vision. I want to thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to you about an overview of the agricultural sector in Bayelsa State. Under the leadership of our dear Governor, His Excellency Senator Doediri, who has made agricultural revolution topmost in his assured agenda. We are very committed to ensure that access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food for our people is a priority. The state recognizes very strongly that the strength of our economy, the health of our people, and our children's future depends on the seed we plant, the field we tend, and innovations we embrace. And today, as for the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, we are committed very strongly to continue to support, empower our farmers, and ensure that no one is left behind, and also ensuring that farming activities continue all year round in the state. Last year to early this year, the government of Bayelsa State provided rice seedlings and supported farmers with irrigation equipment, kits, along with extensive land clearing, free of charge, and preparations of several hectares of rice field to demonstrate our commitment to ensure productivity. The Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Bayelsa State cultivated about over 72,125 kilograms of Harrow 44 rice paddies at our respective rice fields, ranging from the school to land to Siga, Air Force Base, Lamont Fields, and several other areas across the local government areas, and achieving an unprecedented over 120 metric tons of paddies. Many of the local farmers in rice production, with rice seedlings and the rest. Our partnership in Bayelsa State also with South Korea has offered great promise to further boost our rice production initiatives in the state, following the acquisition of some state-of-the-art equipment. We have a 40 tons per day rice mill fully installed, and we're already getting delivery of automated rice boilers, automated dryer, and color selectors to boost the equipment we already have. And again, our smallholder farmers, they continue to be the heroes of our agricultural sector and the backbone of the food that sustains all of us. They continue to work tirelessly to produce the food we eat, and so we give special place to the smallholder farmers in Bayelsa State. We recognize the challenges they face, which include limited access to markets, high-quality seeds, and modern farming tools. To address this, the government continues to intensify efforts to empower them, smallholder farmers. Recently, we distributed over 20,000 bundles of TME 419 cassava stems free of charge to farmers across the 8 local government areas in Bayelsa State, with a projected yield of over 6,700 tons of cassava tubers. Market reports recently in the state indicates that there is a dip in Gari price across the state because virtually everybody, so many farmers, they were harvesting cassava in quantity and going to Gari production, which was quite encouraging. It was like a pilot scheme to find out how far can this quantity of cassava go. We are quite encouraged with the results we have gotten so far from our cassava farmers, and intend to improve upon that in the state. We also distributed improved vegetable seedlings to local farmers across the local governments of the state. A good number of 10 by 50 greenhouses were also procured by the state government to assist in soilless farming. It is pertinent to know that the government, working with organizations like MasterCard, has trained 180 youths in soilless farming techniques aiming to boost food production and, of course, food security in the state. The government has hitherto trained over 700 youths at the CSS integrated farms in Nasarawa State, equipping them with practical skills in rice farming, cassava production, catfish and tilapia farming, poultry and vegetable cultivation, and the rest. Starter pack was procured, or rather provided, for these young men and women, with a view to position them as the vanguard of a new generation of agripreneurs in the state who hopefully will drive food production and rural development across our communities. We also partnered with the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR, to support oil palm farmers, give them improved oil palm seedlings, and also offered funding support to over 100 agripreneurs in the state in a resolve to position our state as a leader in sustainable food and rural development. It is also pertinent for me to mention the fact that the governor recently summoned all the local government chairmen and gave them a marching order to key into the state's agricultural revolution initiative, and they've taken that very seriously. So all the local government chairmen are coming up with proposals to boost agricultural activities in their respective local government. So in a nutshell, in Bayelsa State, I can tell you we are on a journey to transform our agricultural sector, empower our farmers, and ensure that every citizen across the state can enjoy access to food. And it's a very heartwarming development that Nddc is also going to join in this effort, and I strongly believe, Managing Director, we will succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bingi, for ESSN, Commissioner by also the Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Thank you for the presentation. Back to those to the leading house now. And I respectfully invite Honorable Johnson, Honorable Johnson and Yambi Boko, Commissioner for Agriculture and Irrigation Development, who is represented here by Elder Dr. Ode Ukona. And please, that we see the 3 minutes to the summary, please. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. The MD, CEO, Nddc, all the executive directors of Nddc, Nddc Management Committee, commissioners, SSC here present, permanent secretary across the regions, all directors of MDAs and key stakeholders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Without much ado, permit me to run quickly on the overview of Cross River State agricultural sector in the state. First and foremost, our governor has been described as the cocoa revolution and coffee revolution in Cross River State because of what he's doing under the agricultural sector. His Excellency Senator Prince Bassey II has been described as the one who speak and practice agriculture. In Cross River State, we don't just do agriculture, we practice it. And that is why, when he came on board as the governor of Cross River State, the first thing he did was to carry out a survey on soil fertility map of the state, which had been completed and awaiting launch in December 2025. Under the watch of the Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Justin Ebokpo, he has set up the multi-stakeholder committee for cocoa, oil palm, and a roadmap for coffee, making Cross River State to be the first in Nigeria to promote coffee as a cash crop. Cross River State has reviewed the Cross River State Produce Law, and it has been signed into law. We have procured over 3,500,000 oil palm seedlings and spotted nut from NIFOR at subsidized rate and distributed to farmers. 12,000 hectares of land acquired and surveyed for the establishment of cocoa estates in 5 locations across the state. Also, we have also procured 1 million coffee seedlings of Arabica species and Robusta species and distributed to our smallholder farmers for the establishment of coffee estates in Cross River State. Based on our partnership with the Niger Farms and Lixie Farms coffee outlet in UK for the establishment of additional 500,000 coffee gardens each across the state. Cross River State also established a cash crop development agency as well as the governing body for that said agency. Based on our collaboration with FOU Folon IP and FRIN, we're able to distribute 3,000 food trees, which are nursed and distributed, as well as 5,000 agroforestry trees distributed to our farmers. We have had 65 hectares pilot wheat scheme cultivated at the Budu Cattle Ranch, based on our collaboration with the Child Research Institute and National Agricultural Growth Scheme Agro Pockets. Suffice to say that in Cross River State, our agriculture is the heartbeat of our Excellency Apostle Senator Bassey II. Based on his quest for agriculture, we have also done our first phase of 108 subsidized mini tractor at subsidized rates to our smallholder farmers, which we have flagged off and done distribution accordingly. In Cross River State, we have established the Department of Public, Private and Development Department to oversee the activities of our investors and the rest. We have established and produced the compendium and register for our investors in the states. Recently, we distributed 5.5 metric tons of approved cowpea seeds, SAMPI 20T, from Institute of Agricultural Research Institute, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Also, the government also has some special projects and donor agency that it promotes. Under the Cross River State Government Cassava Project intervention, we are able to develop 500 hectares for cassava projects across our senatorial district. Project Grow. Project Grow is simply a market system development initiative driving private sector agricultural commercial production and expanding market access. Under this, we have achieved 396 hectares of maize production and 60 hectares of cow and soya bean production as well. For our IFAT FGN NDC Life ND project, we are into our second phase called additional finance, where so far over 600 beneficiaries have been profiled for implementation. Thank you very much and welcome for listening.
There will be a certificate session where proper presentations and elaborate discussions will be. May I now invite for our presentation Adalba Arena as one Honorable Commissioner of Delta State Ministry of Agriculture and National Resources, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Yoko Edmond.
The Managing Director, CEO, Nddc, Directors of Nddc here present, Honorable Commissioners, Permanent Secretaries, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Agriculture remains the lifeline of Delta State economy, the foundation of food security, rural development, and job creation. It is our most visible route to diversify from oil, empower our people, and drive inclusive growth. In Delta states, we are blessed with fertile lands, rich water bodies, and hard-working population spread across two agro-ecological zones, the upland and the riverine. Our vision is clear: to build a modern, technology-driven, and resilient agricultural sector capable of feeding our people and sustaining livelihoods. Over the years, government has made remarkable strides across all agricultural sectors. In fisheries, we established fish farm clusters in Ewulu and Ndiri, revived Agbo hatchery, and supported over 400 fish farmers with inputs and training. In livestock, our broiler and piggery program, with strong competitive advantage, have created jobs and boosted meat production, while we continue to expand goat, snail, and beef farming. Over 186 goat farmers were trained on goat production and management recently. We are scaling up all these micro livestock to bring them into the farming fold in Delta State. In crop development, we have supported thousands of farmers in rice, cassava, oil, palm, and vegetable value chain. In rice production, there has been empowerment of hundreds of rice farmers annually, cultivating over 1,000 hectares of farmland. Currently, over 200 hectares of rice is being cultivated across the states in this year, 2025. About 3,000 hectares of cassava is farmed yearly with improved varieties that have been distributed to over 500 farmers. We have different value chains where we are leveraging on greenhouses to plant vegetables. We have the seedlings, inputs to farmers. Recently, the Delta State government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, launched the Neighborhood Homestead Farming Scheme to engage civil servants in food production. Over 600 civil servants have been trained. That program will be flagged off in November, where the seedlings will now be distributed to the trained civil servants. In oil palm production, over 850 improved oil palm seedlings have been raised and distributed to smallholder farmers. We have also distributed over 1,200 metric tons of fertilizers to smallholder farmers. We have built farmers' data bank where farmers have been verified and profiled. We are reviving our agricultural research station at Obion. We are strengthening produce inspection for exports, and we are keeping veterinary clinics functional and running across the states. Programs like Fadama 3, DCARES, and coconut developments have implemented Nddc and IFAD programs where over 16,000 farmers and young entrepreneurs across our communities have been trained and given inputs. However, despite these achievements, the sector faces challenges: limited funding, poor infrastructure, flooding, insecurity, post-harvest losses, and low mechanization. These challenges continue to affect productivity and discourage private investments. This is why we hope that Nddc, in its magnanimity, will help us to develop agriculture and livestock clusters, expand mechanization services, rehabilitate farm settlements, construct climate-resistant infrastructure, storage facilities like silos, and abattoirs in the states. With Nddc's partnership, we can deepen agricultural transformation, create jobs, strengthen food security, and promote peace and prosperity across the Niger Delta. Delta State is ready. The government has shown commitment and capacity. What we need now is synergy to turn our shared agricultural potential into sustainable wealth. Thank you very much, and I wish you well.
Thank you very much to Adam Rebecca Esquire, Honorable Commissioner, Delta State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, represented by the Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Obiogo Edmond. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to now invite Dr. Jerry Wambe, Commissioner at the State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, represented by Dr. Lucky. I'd like to invite Dr. Lucky Adeyemi, Cabinet Secretary, Livestock Development. Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Jerry Wambe.
Dr. Jerry Wambe, Commissioner, Agriculture and Edo State. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, madam. Sorry for the mix-up. Good afternoon, all. Managing Director, CEO, Niger Delta Development Commission. I greet you, sir. Please permit me to stand on already existing protocol. It is my honor and privilege to address you today in this strategic key stakeholder meeting with commissioners here, permanent secretary, and directors of the agricultural sector. Agriculture is the mainstay of the region before the advent of crude oil. As you are aware, the federal government has declared a state of emergency on food security, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Edo State, is working tirelessly to address this challenge facing the sector. In the year 2023, the President and the Command-in-Chief of the Nigeria Armed Force, distinguished Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, reviewed a roadmap in agriculture and titled the Renewed Hope Agenda. Towards attaining this self-sufficient, our governor, which Senator Monday Okpero led administration, has hid into the state level by according the much needed priority toward agricultural revolution in Edo State. By doing so, he came up with a 5-point agenda titled Project Shine, and which stands for nutrition and agriculture, and as such characterize agricultural development with a budgetary allocation of 70 billion. The 70 billion was targeted towards agriculture related infrastructure development, procurement of farm machineries, tractors and bulldozers, etc., as well as massive land development and empowerment for our farmers. Therefore, provisions of farm input under Back to Farm initiative. Our aim at this meeting is to discuss key initiatives and priority aimed at making all efforts to shift from mono economy, where crude oil has been the mainstay, to a more diversified economy where agriculture plays a pivotal role to ensure enhancement of food production and stability, improving agricultural productivity and ensuring food security in our region. The cassava intensification program has a clause in Edo State that a minimum of 10% must go back to the farmers for food consumption. Let us, in every possible way, strengthen partnership, leverage on technologies, and attract investment in agriculture to our individual states and region at large, with the core objective of making the region self-sustaining in agriculture production. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the commissioner is Professor Cassius Mosa, who is represented by Dr. Lakina Udo. However, all of the lines of development commissioners will make your presentation during the simple session. Then you have more time to elaborate. Thank you very, very much. I'd like to now invite Honorable Chief Cosmos Mandula, Imo State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security. Honorable Chief Cosmos Mandula, Imo State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security. Thank you so much, sir.
I am not the commissioner. I am the permanent secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. Perhaps on double capacity as both the PAMSEC and representing the commissioner, Honorable Chief Cosmos Mbadba, the CEO, Nddc. I wish to key into already established protocol. In Imo State, our smart and digital governor has decided and have implemented the recovery, the reconstruction and rehabilitation of agriculture. So in Imo State, what we have tried to do is to recover, reconstruct and rehabilitate agriculture. To achieve this, the governor of Imo State has invested well over 200 billion in agriculture. And is verifiable. Well, this money is invested in the following. One, we have tried to produce a very credible and reliable data by profiling our farmers. We have deleted what we call portfolio farmers. And in Imo State today, we have practicing farmers who are profiled. And that profilation was done through our digital ministry. We have also, the Imo State Governor has established University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. And the reason for that establishment is to carry out quality researches on agriculture. Because just as Managing Director CEO had told us today, that there is the need for research on the Niger agricultural potentials of Niger Delta. And Imo State has been in the forefront in trying to do that through the University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. If you go there today, you see quality research being carried out there. And of course, I have listened to so many commissioners, and none had told us that they have collaborated with the Nddc in Life ND program as key. And I think Imo State is one of the states, is verifiable, that have collaborated with the Nddc in Life ND scheme. And through that program, we have trained, we have empowered well over 4,000 youths in agriculture in Imo State. Imo State Governor has established 4 zones, which we call agricultural zones, in Olo, Owerri, and Okigwe. And if you get to those zones, people are being trained in smart agriculture. Youths are being trained in smart agriculture. Women are being trained in agriculture. And Igbo states, perhaps one of the first states that domesticated, even as the process is on, has domesticated gender in agriculture. Because a good number of women has been empowered in agriculture. We have also domesticated youth in agriculture because we feel it is better to cut them young. And the only way we can do it is to start from the secondary to the university. In fact, if you come to the University of Agriculture, which I am also one of the lecturers, agriculture cuts across all the courses. It is a JC course. Whether you are studying physics, whether you are studying chemistry, whether you are studying engineering, you must study agriculture as a general course. And the reason for that is to ensure that everybody develop that potential, develop that desire for agriculture. And all these and many others, we are given 3 minutes, and I know that everybody is itching for time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief of Permanent Secretary, Imo State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security Representative Commissioner, Honorable Chief Cosmos, thank you. We'd now like to go to all of those states as we invite Honorable Engineer Lea Akinola, Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, for his representative. Honorable Engineer Lea Akinola, Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, all those people representatives. So we move over to the state and I respectfully invite Engineer Victor Key, Honorable Commissioner, River State Ministry for Agriculture, for his presentation.
Thank you. As the host commissioner, I was hoping that I'll be the first to speak so that I can welcome all of you to River State. The Managing Director and CEO of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Obuku. The Executive Director for Finance and Administration, Honorable Boma Iyayi. Executive Director for Project, Sir Victor Ansah. Distinguished members of the Board and Management of the Nddc, Honorable Commissioners and Permanent Secretaries of the Niger Delta States here present, Directors and key stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure and honor to warmly welcome you all to River State, the treasure base of the nation, for this very important Nddc sector retreat. First, on behalf of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of River State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSROS, and the good people of River State, I want to extend our deepest appreciation to the Niger Delta Development Commission for choosing River State to be the host state for this very important strategic engagement. This retreat is timely and deeply relevant. Agriculture, as we know, remains the backbone for every sustainable economy and the driver for food security, employment, and industrial growth. The Niger Delta region is richly blessed with fertile land, abundant water resources, and resilient people with immense potential to become the agricultural hub of Nigeria if we harness our resources collaboratively and purposefully. This gathering, therefore, offers us the opportunity to rethink our strategies, evaluate existing policies, identify challenges, and chart a new course for the development of agriculture across the Niger Delta region. In Rivers State, the agricultural sector has been receiving renewed attention under the focused leadership of His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. This present administration is committed to rebuilding the agricultural base of the state and creating an enabling environment for agribusinesses to thrive. His Excellency's policy framework is anchored on a private-public partnership arrangement based on inclusivity, sustainability, and modernization. The Ministry of Agriculture has therefore initiated different policy frameworks that ensures that quality inputs are delivered to our farmers, promoting mechanized farming and strengthening our value chain development. These frameworks are designed not only to enhance food production, but also to open up new opportunities for private sector investment, youth participation, and innovation in agribusiness. Through our School to Learn training program, the state is creating a structured platform to train and empower young people across various agricultural value chains in crop production, fishery, poultry, and agro-processing. These youth will be equipped with practical skills and business knowledge to enable them transition from job seekers to job creators within the agri-economy. Furthermore, the Ministry of Agriculture is working to revitalize moribund agricultural assets in the state in order to transform them into functional centers of production. Such assets include the River State Songhai Initiative Farm, our fish farms across the state, the River State Feed Mill, as well as the cassava processing plant. We are also engaging with relevant development partners and federal agencies such as the African Development Bank, the World Bank, the French Development Agency, IDA, and IFAD, including Nddc. This partnership is to align our state agricultural policies with regional and national strategies for food security, rural development, and youth empowerment. Rivers State is also taking deliberate steps towards agricultural mechanization and innovation. We have recently just acquired 40 new tractors and farm equipment, and plans are underway to establish the very first Rivers State Agricultural Mechanization and Training Center, which will serve as a hub for capacity building, equipment maintenance, and mechanized operations across the state. In addition, we are expanding our collaboration with the private sector to attract investment in rice production, oil palm development, and aquaculture, while cooperative and societies to access agricultural inputs. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the future of agriculture in the Niger Delta depends on how effectively we can integrate our individual state efforts into a coordinated regional framework, a framework that promotes knowledge sharing, resource optimization, and collective accountability. The Nddc has demonstrated strong leadership by convening this retreat, which sets the tone for a unified approach to agricultural advancement across the region. As we engage in discussions and interactive sections over the course of this retreat. I urge all participants to bring forward innovative ideas, practical experiences, and propose actionable solutions that can be implemented beyond this forum. Let us deliberately translate into tangible actions that will impact our farmers, our youth, and our communities. On behalf of the government and good people of Rivers State, I once again extend our profound gratitude to the Niger Delta Development Commission for their foresight and commitment for the growth of agriculture in our region. We also extend the Commission's Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Obuku, and his team for their proactive leadership and partnership spirit. On this note, I want to conclude by welcoming you all to our state. And I hope that this retreat will mark the beginning of greater synergy and stronger partnership between all states in the Niger Delta. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Of course, now we have to go order. We are the presentation of the Thank you very much for your presentation. I'd like to inform you that there was a syndicated session after now, and there were more robust conversations during the syndicated sessions. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to now call on the Nddc of the Nddc as the leads, the EDs, commissioners from the 9 mandate states of the Nddc, the permanent secretaries, and our resource presidents to light refreshments. Thank you very much. We'll break down for light refreshments and come back for the syndicate sessions. Well, we'll quickly take photographs before we do that. Photographs. I'd like to invite the MDCO, Executive Director of Projects, Commissioners for Agriculture, the states, the Nddc mandate states, and of course the resource persons to join on this. We'd like to invite once again the MDCO, Chief Samuel Obuku. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, apologies. I'd like to now invite the host director, Dr. Mrs. Winifred Martinet, for her vote of thanks, after which we will take photographs and then break for light refreshment. Let's make welcome Dr. Mrs. Winifred Martinet, Director of Agriculture and Food.
The MDCO, sir, standing on existing protocol. It gives me great pleasure to give this vote of thanks, which of what has been a truly insightful and impactful stakeholders engagement on unlocking the agricultural potential of the Niger Delta region. Over the course of today, we would have collectively examined through deep and honest conversations and opportunities and challenges that define the agricultural landscape across our 9 mandate states. From the inspiring overviews presented by the Honorable Commissioners of Agriculture to the robust syndicate sessions on value chains, mechanization, inputs, irrigation, market access, finance, research, and governance, one message has resonated clearly. Agriculture remains the greatest hope for sustainable prosperity of the Niger Delta region. This gathering has not only helped us to set an actionable agenda, it has reaffirmed our shared resolve to reposition agriculture as a major pillar of the regional development, job creation, and food security. On behalf of the Managing Director, the Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Ugu, and the entire management team, I want to sincerely thank all participants, the State Commissioners of Agriculture, Permanent Secretaries, the Directors of the Ministries of Agriculture, representative of our Excellencies, our development partners, coordination and measurable impact through a results tracking dashboard. Let me also appreciate our esteemed facilitators, Mr. Von Kemedi, Professor Zaka, for synthesizing our deliberations so effectively, and every syndicate lead for their dedication to clarity and collaboration. As we depart, let us remember that today's session is not the end of a conversation, but the beginning of a coordinated regional movement, a movement to transform the Niger Delta into an agriculturally vibrant, economically prosperous, and ecologically regenerative region. Together with the continued partnership of our state government, the private sector, and our development allies, we will move from dialogue to implementation, from potential to productivity, and from challenges to lasting change. Once again, I thank you all for your presence, your patience, and your passion for the growth of our beloved region. May God bless the Niger Delta Development Commission, may God bless the Niger Delta region, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and safe journey when you go back.
Thank you very much for the host, Director, Dr. Mr. Junior Manley, for that beautiful. State Commissioners of Agriculture by Facilitator Bruneri Von Kennedy. After that, we will also bring into syndicate sessions. As syndicate sessions will be priorities allocated with regional and community advantage. Then land development and environmental.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned.